So, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to Elevation 2023. My apologies for starting late. We had literally some technical difficulties. I every time I hear this, when I'm out and about and I hear that, sometimes I think, I wonder what that could be. And then when it happens to you, you kind of have to rethink. So I promise you, I will not be hello, Sandy. I will not be thinking that again when I go somewhere and I hear we had technical difficulties. We literally did. We had lighting issues, and then by the time we did get them sorted out. It was late. So good afternoon, and welcome. So I'm going to jump right in because actually before I do that, let me just check. The one thing I have to do once I go on here is check the streaming on Facebook, because there is one of the technical difficulties that we have not been able to iron out is precisely how to ensure that once we are on, the audience is public, because we've had it happen more than once that we didn't check that particular section and the people couldn't see. It was registering as private on my Facebook page, which is strange because my Facebook page is anything but private. But anyway, welcome to Elevation 2023. If you listened on Thursday, you would have heard some of the reasons why I started, why I do the work that I do and why I started Elevation 2023. I'm going to literally jump right into not just the reasons, but what 2023 is and what I want for us at the end of 2023. Yes, I want that at the end of 2023, we are all, every single one of us, ahead. We had made advancement. We can literally sit down on the 31st of January, which here, hey Lioness, welcome, which here in the Caribbean, in Montserrat, we refer to as Old Year's Night. You know, in the US, they say New Year's Eve, and that's what it is. But Old Year's Night has a different ring, a different sound to it, and a different power, actually, to my mind. And so what I want is that on All Year's Night, 2023, that is the night of the 31st of December this year, every single one of us can look back on 2023 and say, yes, you know what? I did this, I started this, I accomplished this. 2023 meant this to me. I know that there is not a whole lot we can do about the trials and tribulations, as my grandmother used to say, of life. The pains, the difficulties, the loss and failure. Sometimes there's nothing we can do. They just come. Life throws things at us. Pain at us. All of us. Hey, Aslin, thank you. Life throws pain at us, no matter what we do. Everybody has this. We lose people. We lose work. We make bad decisions. We injure ourselves, or somebody we love has a difficulty. Or for those of us who are deeply involved in social and political issues, for example, part of the pain is that we work and work and work and work and live with the notion sometimes that it seems as if you're just pouring things into a bottomless pit, a bottomless bucket. You don't see any results. One of my friends, who I worked with some years ago in Phoenix, I was having that particular issue, as a matter of fact, working with at-risk girls, young girls in trouble, young girls who had difficult lives and whose families had not been loving and supportive and protective. And I was having such a difficult time one time when one of these young women, we had got her to the point where she'd finished high school with really good grades, and we got her registered into community college. She started out beautifully. First semester, as you say in the US, went wonderfully. And then she started falling off. Well, hello, Victor. Welcome. Then she started falling off. And I was so troubled, and I was so disappointed, and I was so angry also, because it wasn't just her fault. It wasn't her fault. The system around her wasn't supportive. And then some of the people who had hurt her, her family members who had not been protective, showed up in her life again. Now she was doing well. And as often happens, even the people who hurt us, especially when they're parents, when they come back, we fall back in. And so this young woman had all these things pulling back at her, and she started falling back, dropped out of community college. I was it pained me. I was angry. I was disappointed. And so I was talking to one of the women who worked with me, a friend of mine, and she said, Shirley, I believe I understand, but sometimes we have to acknowledge, we have to just recognize that the work that we do, we won't see it right away. We'll see it later on. Sometimes you don't see it at all, but trust me, it has some effect. If it's not on the person, it's on somebody around, somebody who has observed, somebody who's seeing, somebody who's noticing. So the good work never goes undone. It never goes, hey there, hi Theo. When you do work, it never goes without effect. It always has some effect. And of course, there's this wonderful meme that goes around. There's one of them, there's a woman working out, actually, talking about being healthy. There's a woman working out, and there's a child looking at her, and the meme says, so be careful what you do. Remember, someone's always watching. Someone's always watching, and someone's always being influenced. Can you think of the times in your life that you can remember when something untoward happened, something not untoward, something outside of your immediate life, some little incident that you remember because it triggered something in you? So one of the reasons why I do Elevate, why I do this, why I do my work with women, and why I chose Elevation is that I want us to be able to look, hello there, I want us to be able to look back at the end of 2023 and see the work that we have done. See what it has done to us, and just know that even if we don't see it in others, it has had effect. It might not be on the person you want it to have effect on. Keep that in mind. It will be on somebody else. There is always someone watching, always someone learning. I want us to keep that in mind. And fortunately or unfortunately, it comes down to women, to us, so often to be the teachers, the guides, the protectors, the ones who guide and direct and mold people, because we have been socialized. It's in our genes, it's in our socialization, whichever way it comes from. Women do a lot of this work is done by women. So I want us to think about that, and think also of our relationships, because we're going to be talking about relationships as we go through Elevation. Because remember, Elevation is about health, style, wealth, personal power, and relationships. They're all important. There's a whole long list of things that we need to look at and pay attention to in our lives. But to my mind, those 5 cover just about everything. And what we're going to talk about today, health, covers or is influenced by influences and is influenced by all of those. So I want also that on All Years Night 2023, we are all as healthy as we could possibly be. And again, I know that life throws these curveballs at us, and the times they can't have the injury, the illness comes. But what I know for sure, what I know for a fact, is that when you're doing everything you ought to and everything you can, the chances of those things are reduced. And when they do happen, when you can't avoid them, you couldn't do anything at all, you're in a better position to recover. So you protect yourself more when you're taking care. And when life just kind of goes around you and says, I'm going to do this whether you like it or not, you're in a better position to, hello, welcome. You're in a better position to recover. I remember years ago, I was young, very young, much younger than I am now. And Laura Estefan had an accident. A horrible bus crash. Her tour bus crashed, and her back got seriously damaged. At first, she thought she wouldn't be able to walk again. The doctors thought so too, but she did. She's walking around again. And one of the doctors, I watched an interview, I think it was on CNN, with one of the doctors who treated her, and he said that one of the reasons why she recovered was because her body was so strong. Her body was so physically strong. So even when the mind was, this is too painful, this is too much, I can't be bothered, the body was working anyway. So when I talk about being healthy and taking care of your body, make sure your body is strong, I mean it not just so you can go about your daily business with more energy and verve and vigor, as my mother would say, but so that when you do hit the walls, when you do get the accidents, the illnesses, you recover more quickly. You are more likely to recover, first of all. Your resistance is stronger. Your body is stronger. Mm-hmm. So I want that, again, on All Years Night. We are celebrating. We are celebrating that we have had a good year. We've done everything we could do in this year, 2023, to keep ourselves healthy and vibrant and well, and to live good lives, to have good lives. It really is important. And that's one of the reasons why I include lifestyle. I include style because style is important. It is. It really is. It is. And it doesn't matter whether your style is jeans and t-shirt or, pearls and little black dress. The point is that you have one that is yours, that you own, and that when people see you, when people think of you, they think of this. Yes? 50 plus sports day. I like that. I like that. So let's talk about health. Let's talk about health. Health, obviously, is actually, let me give you a little bit of I take off my glasses because I'm actually working on my eye health. And I'm not wearing eyelashes. I can't get that far. But actually, yesterday, I ended up spending the afternoon and the first part of the evening in the hospital in casualty. Because I want to say I didn't take care of my health, but I did. I took care of one part of my health. Because the 2 days before that, I had not been paying attention to what I should have been paying attention to in my health. And when you're over 50, when you're 50 plus, Lioness, your body doesn't recover so quickly, doesn't treat these things so easily. And so I ate too much salty food. Literally, I can't even tell you. I feel so vulnerable saying this, but I made some miso soup, and miso is salty food, yeah. And then I added soy sauce. I didn't have sesame oil, and I added soy sauce to sort of kind of make sure I got my Asian flavor. And why I made miso soup was because I felt a desire, an urge for noodles, and I've been practicing making those ribbon noodles. And anyhow, I came home on Wednesday and I said, I want noodles and I want miso soup, and I made it, and I kept adding salt because it wasn't right. And it wasn't right not because of the salt, but because the other flavors that I needed, the other spices and flavor, I didn't have them, so I was making it up with salt. And I had miso soup for dinner Wednesday night, for breakfast Sunday morning, and for dinner, Thursday morning, and for dinner Thursday night. Salt overload. And so I woke up with my head doing this on Friday. I had also an incident of what my sister was a doctor calls ocular migraine. I started these jagged edges around my eyes, and it's happened before. Nothing terribly serious apparently, but I have two sisters who are medical people, and one of them, you hurt your little finger, and she says you're going to die. All right, and the other one, your head is split open. She says you'll be fine. A little bit of an exaggeration, but so when I need medical advice, I speak to both of them and then split it down the middle. This time I didn't find the one who says, just take an aspirin and go to sleep. I found the one that says you need to go to the doctor, you need to see somebody. So I went, and they kept me in the hospital. My blood pressure was high. They gave me something to take the water out of my body. They gave me diuretic. I did it. I came home. My blood pressure went down. I woke up this morning. My blood pressure was 103/78. All that happened was I didn't pay attention to my health as well as I should have on Thursday. Because the two things I didn't pay attention to was, one, I had too much salt. I just did. And I mean, really too much salt. And I forget sometimes that I'm not 23 anymore. I'm not 25, not even 30 anymore. And your body works differently. That is a consideration for health. And that's the one I want to talk about today, because to my mind, and one of my sisters said to me this morning, as we get older, it is important that we pay more attention to our health. And it sounds trite, but it is important and it is true. And some years ago, I read an article that talked about working out. And those of you who know me know I've always been very physically active. I work out, I hike, I used to do sports in school and so on. And I keep that going. And so even when I'm not doing sports, I'm working out, I'm taking care of my body, I'm getting exercise. And one of this article, this doctor said, you need to do more. As you get older, you need to do more exercise just to have the effect you'd have you used to have when you were younger. So whereas when you were younger, you could probably get away with half an hour. Now you need to do a solid hour to keep, just to maintain. And so the doctor was actually recommending that as you get older, we schedule more time for physical activity, for exercise specifically, whether it's walking, going to the gym, and so on. Because there's what you need about an hour to maintain, she was saying, about an hour just to maintain. But what you want to do always is add a little bit more so that you keep ahead of the curve. And so I've been doing that. But my mental health required that I have noodles on Wednesday. I don't know how else to put it. My mental health required that I have noodles. And then then I overdid it. Which we should not do, right? Moderation in all things. And so it had me a salt overload episode. We have to be careful with that. Health is so, so, so important. And all the aspects of health. Is it age-related? Little man trying to push them out of your head. All of those, they're age-related, experience-related, Our experiences determine how we behave, how we respond to those urges, for example. But I woke up on Friday morning and my fingers were slightly slow. They were fat. So I knew that there was something going on in my body. So that is an example of why it's important for our health. It lost me my Friday night. On Friday nights, my Friday nights usually are, I am eating fish somewhere, drinking beer somewhere, sleeping at home. My Friday nights are usually mine to do what I want to do with. When I'm working with people, they always know that by 3:00 on Friday afternoon, I'm done, because Friday night is my me time. And sometimes me time is literally I go home and sleep. I'm in bed by 4:00 and I'm sleeping until Saturday morning, or at least I'm in bed until Saturday morning. People who are around me when I work know that. And if I choose to go hang out with friends, I do that. I do what I want on Friday night for my mental health. And what I did last night is not what I wanted to do. So my lack of care for my health a couple of days before messed me up last night. Can't have that. So luckily, it wasn't one of those serious things that would have had me out of commission for a long time. And that's the point here. These little things, yes, you have sugar overload, you drink a lot of salt, you drink a lot of water, and you find, in a day or two. There are other things that don't end so easily and quickly and with so little effect. And they affect our health deeply and greatly. So it is important that we think about our health the way we think about our work, the way we think about our finances. We plan for our health. I don't know how many ways to say that. Health is not arbitrary. It doesn't just happen. Even if you're 20 years old and you're not taking care of your health, you're going to have ill effects. If you don't have them then, you'll have them later. Think about the people around you who are 40, 50, 60 years old. Look at the older people. And listen to this is how they talk about how they operated when they were younger. And think about yourself. You can look back and see the nights when you overdid something or other, the months that went by when you didn't do any exercise and you let yourself gain weight and not do anything about keeping your body strong. And I want to emphasize that gaining weight is not necessarily a negative. I know some people who are quite heavy, but they're quite solid and healthy. Hey, welcome. They are healthy because they take care of themselves. They get the exercise that they need. You don't have to be 110 pounds to be healthy. You could actually be 200 pounds and be healthy. Men mostly, tall people mostly. But the point is, it has to be proportional. So what I wanted to say to you today about health, above all, is that it is important that we schedule health. We think about health as an aspect of our lives that needs to be thought through, thought about, planned for, scheduled, managed the way we manage our finances, the way we manage everything else. You go shopping on Saturday mornings. You're working from Monday to Friday. So you go to the supermarket on Saturday mornings, that's your day. On Saturday, you go do your shopping. On Saturdays, you do your laundry. On Thursday night, you do your nails. You have to schedule, build in your health care like that if you want to continue to be healthy. If you want to improve your chances of staying healthy, of being healthy right through life. My sister, one of my sisters, is a geriatric nurse practitioner, and she was telling me just this morning, actually, about one of her patients who's 100 and something, 101, I think she said, lives alone and is sprightly and takes care of herself. That's what I want. I want to die on my feet. I don't want to get sick and die. I don't want to die after a long illness. I watched that happen to my father, for example. I hear stories. I have friends who, as people get older, you watch them decline. There's going to be that. And sometimes it won't matter what you do. But the point is, thank you for coming. The point is that you do everything you can. My grandmother was 97 when she died, and she was in full control of her faculty. She had a memory sharper than mine ever was, I think, at 97. I remember at one point, this gentleman came home. She was probably about 90 at the time. And this man had migrated to England years ago when he was a child, and she had not seen him in something like 50 years. She saw him, recognized him immediately, and he was astounded. And she could tell him things about when he was a child that she remembered. Her brain was as sharp as ever. Of course, there are ways that you can help your brain remain sharp. And so what we do at the Girls Education Project, what we do at the Women's Leadership Circle, we go into detail, we help you find that information, have that information so that you can work with it. When I do the lives, I'll talk about what's available, and we'll discuss ways that you can move ahead. But the detailed work we do in group. So gentlemen, yes, you can join the Women's Leadership Circle too. So when you join the Women's Leadership Circle, you get all that basic information. There are times when we talk with people about these specific issues. We have a monthly circle in which we go into detail about things. And there's always the opportunity to ask questions. Email me, send me questions, the specific information that you want. That's what I have. That's work I've been doing for young women, and then for just women ever since 2001. It's a couple of decades now. More than 2 decades now. I've been doing it formally and officially. I did it before. But formally and officially, my job for the last few years, welcome again, welcome to you too, for the last 2 decades plus has been that. Ensuring that women have the information that they need to live good lives. I look for this information for myself. And some of you would have heard me talk, for example, about my auntie who had diabetes, and I watched her decline, and I watched her until they started taking pieces off her body. I watched my beautiful, powerful woman, auntie. She was a powerful woman. Victor, you know her. Aunt Florence was one of those women, bad. She was a badass. And I watched her decline, decided that's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to die from diabetes. I don't care what's going to kill me. It will not be diabetes. And so I went and looked for all the information I needed to. And one of the reasons why I work out so hard and exercise so well and make sure I eat so well is because I decided that I will not die from this particular disease. Now, I've also decided I won't die from different things. I haven't decided yet that I won't die from speeding. I might get around to that at some point, who knows? But the point is, I think of these things and I plan for these things. That's what I'm recommending that you do. Make these a specific part of your life. Don't just live and let your health be. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. You go to the doctor, get medication. Look after yourself. Hey there. Thank you for coming. Look after yourself. Take care of yourself. Be deliberate and intentional about your health. That's the message here. Be deliberate and intentional about your health. And if you want help and support with that, join the Women's Leadership Circle. And there's me and there's a lot of other women who are doing the same work and will support and help you. We have, for example, Jazz in New York, who is, Jazz is a cancer survivor. And She has spent the last probably 30 years, since the 1990s, yeah, learning about, studying, researching healthy eating, healthy foods, everything from eating with meats, which she doesn't do anymore though, because there is a way to be healthy with meat. It's just, there's nothing necessarily wrong with eating meat, to eating vegan. Jazz used to be a chef, a really, really good cordon bleu chef. And so she doesn't do the, cakes full of double cream and all that things that she used to cook and I used to love. She doesn't do that anymore. But because she has made a shift in how she in how she feeds herself and people. Yeah. So we have all these women who are deeply involved in different aspects of this work, who support one another and support us all within the Women's Leadership Circle. Because a circle is a space, a space where it's space that is held by everyone for everyone. In a circle, the energy stays in here, and as it builds. Physics. I remember my physics. There's something called centrifugal force. You just get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger as the energy moves around in the circle, and we all benefit. It benefits and strengthens everybody in the circle. That's specifically why I call it a circle. Another reason why I call it a circle is because when I moved to Phoenix in 2000, I got invited to a sister circle. A sister invited me to a sister circle run by this sister called Fatima. Fatima is an amazing woman. She is one of the most powerful women I've met. She does a lot of work with women, with brothers, young men, and adult men. And she does a rites of passage program for African-American girls in Phoenix that got expanded to include Latina girls and just girls. She does this amazing work. She's an artist. She used to do backup for Jimi Hendrix. And that was, when I heard that, I thought, I did the girl crush thing. So there are all these powerful women that I have met throughout my life who have taught me, who have contributed to my well-being, to my health at every level. And I think I've reached a stage now where my deliberate decision is to intentionally, purposefully, pointedly transmit some of this information. Some of you will never meet Fatima. Most of you probably never ever meet Fatima, but I can tell you, I can give you some of the information that she taught me. And that's what we do. Some of what I transferred to her, she shares with her group. What she shared with me, I share to mine. There's this other woman I met 2 years ago. We haven't met in person yet, we met online. She wants to be the president of Ghana. She wants to be president of Ghana. So she's very much involved in politics and involved in women, interested in women being able to contribute everything that we can in spaces like politics. She's not interested in either men or women. She wants that women and men work together. That's my cat. I closed the door and locked her out. Give me a second. Let me go in. Okay, here you go. Come on. My cat's name is Olga, and I closed the door and I locked her outside. So anyway, so there's politics, and when I talk about politics, I speak about politics here to talk about the issues of personal power and the things that we can do in the world, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in one of these lives, and in circle, in that when you're a member of the circle, we talk about the ways in your specific life that you can expand and build and strengthen your personal power and use it to advance yourself and equally important, other people. One of my pet peeves is the notion of zero sum, that the resources in the world, that the good that's to be had, the joys, the beauty, the wealth, the opportunities, the access, either me or you. No. What I know for a fact is that when we do well, everybody else does well. And my work with women has always revolved around that. One woman succeeds. For everyone who succeeds, every other woman wins. And I had that conversation a couple of years ago with a new Supreme Court justice woman, was being considered for the Supreme Court in the United States. And she was Republican, and women were not sure they wanted her. And, she's made some decisions since she's been in that, of course, were not what women would like. But the point is, her being there makes it easier for other women to get in. And so sometimes you have to take the bitter. You have to take the bitter with the sweet. And that's kind of life. That's part of life. Yes. So I strayed a little bit into personal power. Let's get back to health. I want to end this with, again, the call, the request, the recommendation, the strong, strong, strong recommendation to be deliberate and intentional about taking care of your health. Plan for your health care. I don't mean your doctor's visit, I mean your personal health care. Plan for your health care, schedule your health care, the way you schedule your hair care, the way you schedule your shopping, the way you get up every morning, you clean your teeth. Before you go to sleep at night, you have a shower. You whatever it is that, however your schedule was, put time in there for your health. And some things we talk about, for example, is work that I've been following in the Huberman Lab. Andrew Huberman is an ophthalmologist and a scientist who does a lot of work on energy, physical energy, and dopamine and adrenaline and so on. And he has, I follow some of the work that he does because I find it fascinating and it helps. Scientifically looking at your health and taking care of your health. So the science for your health is not just drugs. It's not just chemistry. Okay. He talks about getting sunlight early in the morning. And if you go back in my Instagram, you'll see a couple of months ago, you somewhere down there, you'll see some there's one I did a few days ago. You'll see some posts that I made about the things I learned from his work. Because he also speaks to other scientists who do a lot of work in human biology and how the body works, how to keep the body strong and vibrant. And one of the things that he said that I had not realized that I had been doing, he talked about the importance of getting sunlight in your eyes early in the morning, this kind of blue-yellow light when the sun is just coming up, and what that literally does to the chemistry of your body and how it helps you stay alive. He talks, for example, about one of the ways when we're studying or we do deep at work and you're kind of falling asleep, one of the quickest ways to begin to wake up is look up at light, look up. Because there's something about how light reaches your eyes when you're looking up that triggers something in your brain. That fascinating stuff. So taking care of your health is not just getting exercise. It's not just eating right. There are all this amazing thing that's going on in the world that I look for, that I bring into the circle, that I share with women so that we can all have access to and get the benefit of all of these things. And yes, of the brothers who are in here too. Okay. Gentlemen, yes, you too. Because we're also convinced, I know for a fact that when we do well, you do well. So when you come into circle, you get access to all of these things. I send out email every week with some of this information, a little newsletter that you can just check, watch what you want to watch, what you want to follow, and these little tits and tidbits and fascinating information and style things, all kinds of cool stuff. The newsletter goes out, the email newsletter goes out on Thursdays. So Wednesday night in time for Thursday. So if you want to be part of that, just pop me your email somewhere. Go on shirleyosborne.com. There's a pop-up box. Just put your email in there and I'll add you to the list and I'll send you these. You don't have to be a member to get the email. But we have all these fascinating things in there. Yes. And if you want to join the Women's Leadership Circle, I would highly recommend that. I'd be grateful. I really would like if you did. I'd be honored if you did. It's $30 a year. 12 months, $30 a year, and you get access to all of this other information that we have, and you get access to our circle, our monthly circle, and all of the other workshops and trainings that we do. When I bring people in to talk to us about things, you get to participate. You get invited. You get to log on and participate. You get involved in the Zoom chats, for example. We actually get to speak one-on-one with the people. I'm talking to the people who bring the information. So send me your email address. Go to shirleyosborne.com, ShirleyOsborne.com. In the pop-up box, just put your email, and I'll put you on the list so you can get the newsletter every Wednesday night, and whatever other information is available. And then also just scroll down a little bit further, click I'm in, click the box, and it'll take you to where you pay $30 and you get everything else that comes in Women's Leadership Circle. I want to, just before I go, say one other thing. There's some work we do with women, under-resourced women, which is supported by our membership. So when you pay your $30 a year, you also make it possible for me to invite another woman or young girl to be a member who could not possibly afford it. There are so many of them in the world. There are so many of them in the world. A lot of my work with women like this has been centered around Phoenix, Arizona. And there, the numbers are staggering and overwhelming. Imagine the entire world. And so part of what I do is I invite women who could not possibly afford to participate in this to come. Our workshops and seminars don't cost $3,000 like some others do, because I want other women to participate. And when you pay your $30 membership, you make it possible for some of these other women to participate. Some of them have to actually go to the library in order to be able to log on. They don't own a computer. They can't afford a computer. And I know $30 a year sounds like not a lot of money, but for some people it is. And so what I'm asking you is to consider your membership and the opportunity to give membership to another person, and come join the Women's Leadership Circle. Gentlemen, if you just want to invite a woman and support her, we're grateful for that also. In the meantime, until Thursday, because Thursday we have the other live on Thursday, and you get your email, your weekly email on Wednesday evening if you send me your email address. In the meantime, take good care of yourself. Take good care of your health. Plan for your health. Get some exercise. Just walk. Walking is good for your physical health, your mental health, emotional health, cardiac health. Part of your physical health is good for everything, pretty much. Good for your digestive health, by the way. So go do some walking. Be careful what you eat. Don't do the salt overload. Don't. Or the sugar overload for that matter. Be temperate. Most of the time, at least. Of course, we're human, so we'll make these things will happen. But if we are careful of our health, normally on a normal basis, those little things don't keep us back. They might put us out of sync for a day or two, and then we just get right back in where we're going. So look after your health. And if you're interested in helping us to help you look after your health, and supporting us in supporting other women to look after their health and whatever else, the things that we look at, and we have the resources and the access and the information to do, join the Women's Leadership Circle. Join the Women's Leadership Circle at ShirleyOsborne.com. ShirleyOsborne.com. And let's do this. All Year's Night 2023. I want us to be able to log on here, even just for 15 minutes. And have people say, yep, I did this. Yes, I did this. I accomplished this. I accomplished that. Look, my year did this. By April, I've done this. By August, I've done this. I'm still doing this. I want to see all of that on All Year's Night. We have a date. Invite your friends. Invite your friends. We're going to spend 15 minutes on All Year's Night 2023. I've written it down because this is in my head. Part of my plan for this year is to have a bunch of women, 1,000, 2,000 women. I spoke to my friend about this, Kathy Cushman in Florida. I spoke to her about the 1,000 women I want to be able to celebrate with on All Year's Night. And she said, go for it, Shirley. Yes, we can do that. So let's do that. Because the other thing is, like I said earlier, when one of us succeeds, every other woman wins. It's a win for every other woman. You might not think so. You might not be able to see it. You might think it doesn't matter that Amy Coney Barrett became Supreme Court Justice in America. It doesn't matter. It does. It does. Every little chip we put in that wall elevates all of us, women and men. Elevates all of us. So let's do that. Come join the Women's Leadership Circle. Invite your friends. Let's have our 1,000-woman party on All Year's Night 2023. Are you in? Send me a message. let me know that you are in. Come join the circle and let's do this. I'm looking forward to it. So until next week, until next time, take good care.